If something really bad happens to you and your family, life can go on. You can't move on with things.
It was really a burning bush moment for me, honestly, where I realized that the only way that I could participate in helping my child stay alive, which was my fear, was to get sober and get help. I had support as this process went along in a way that I never really had before, because they really listened to me.
It has been the most invigorating kind of social work practice in my whole career.
A little girl is neglected, abused. Maybe she's your niece, your granddaughter. Child Protective Services are involved, and legal standards of care and protection must be met. You have two options. One, a system of strangers creates a plan and tells you what will happen to her. Two, child welfare professionals gather your family, everyone who has a heartfelt interest in this little girl's well-being. And with support and structure, you decide on a plan to keep her healthy and safe. The first option is the system as it is. The second is family group decision-making.
This is a child-centered, family-driven practice. And so the value is that inherently children, a child is entitled and has a right to their family.
Families naturally get together and come together to decide and resolve issues. It's when we have disenfranchised families and isolated them from that process of decision making that then that natural process doesn't occur.
At the American Humane Association, we know that extended families are collaborative, practical, and resilient when they come together on behalf of their children. Family group decision-making research demonstrates this. But today, not a single U.S. state received passing grades from the Federal Children's Bureau for engaging parents and children in case planning. Not one. Painfully often, the system takes responsibility for the children, offers cookie-cutter solutions, and tries to solve problems from a distance without attempting to work with parents, especially fathers, children, and extended families. The result? Families on the sidelines, and children separated from their communities, their culture, their friends and schoolmates, and their relatives who love them.
So I think we've got to work in ways that values and respects the richness of different cultures, and we fail to do that with orthodox systems. That's why family group conferences are so important, because it requires us to work in ways that give family control over and lead over the way decisions are made. And then de facto that reflects their culture and values rather than us trying to impose those things on.
I think family group decision-making is one really strong mechanism that can address the children of color that are in care in the foster care system. Give them opportunities, give them and the families opportunities that they haven't had to be heard.
Change is difficult for large systems, and despite mounds of compelling evidence, child welfare systems have marginalized family group decision-making in the United States. And yet, we know that professionals and agencies want to do what's best for children, and that means supporting families in creating their own safe solutions for them. With family group decision-making, a coordinator gathers extended family, close friends, and community resources. The group meets to learn about the agency's concerns, and then the professionals leave the room. The family gets right to work, developing a definitive and thorough plan for the safety, permanency, and well-being of their children. And when agency concerns are met, the professionals accept the plan and marshal resources to implement it. It is a sobering and powerful experience, one that transforms families and the professionals who serve them. Our vision is a child welfare system that capitalizes on the natural motivation and resources already present within extended families. a system that creatively encourages responsible power and decision-making among family members. Our goal is to educate families, coordinators, and professionals throughout the child welfare system in the values and practice of family group decision-making. To that end, the American Humane Association and Phoenix Possibilities have partnered to create a docu-training for both families and professionals. A docu-training feels like a documentary and functions as a training. Participants learn the practical steps and the inner skills to succeed. The video component allows participants to witness real-life family meetings. The workbook allows them to apply the skills in their own lives and roles. And the community interaction component engages participants in a dialogue that fosters a sense of possibility and new ideas to protect the children and support families. To harness this family power, we will build a social movement and effect public policy that supports family group decision-making. We will train coordinators and social workers in its philosophy, its skills, and its practice on a national scale. We will engage in additional research that demonstrates its efficacy. And we will steward legislative efforts that make family group decision-making a standard practice in child welfare. So that if it were a child in your family, family group decision-making is the approach that would be used.
We provide information to families. They digest, then prescribe, and we support. And in doing so, really enhances the levels the playing field and enhances the capacity of protective factors within the family and within the community.
At its best, if we can really embed family group conferences across the country, what we should see is much stronger notions of citizenship, stronger notions of responsibility in families and communities, and notions of democracy, people being involved in decisions that affect their lives.
All of us, even the most impoverished person, the most disenfranchised person, always has something to give. And that is so beautiful. You really ask and wait for the person to think, what can I give? And they will find something to give, and that will make them powerful as opposed to making them disenfranchised.
Family group decision-making. It's a social innovation and a strong leap forward. Partner with us in building a future that protects children, promotes families, rejuvenates professionals, and strengthens communities. We are the American Humane Association, the nation's voice for the protection of children and animals.